His voice resonated with pain and anger that struck Faith like a physical blow and penetrated her to her core. Fahey had been the one to discover Sharon's body when he'd returned home at the end of a workday. He had no family other than his wife, and now he'd lost her. Faith knew what it was to have no family, to be completely alone in the world, just as Fahey was now. One of the reporters broke away from Fahey and, taking the descent 2 steps at a time, raced back to Faith. "Miss Winston, will you answer Mr. Fahey's question? Miss Winston! Miss Winston!" Faith reached the taxi and swung open the rear passenger door. She climbed in, dropping her briefcase on the seat with her. Static rose from the dispatch radio inside the cab, punctuated by squeaks from the windshield wipers as they arced across the glass. The cabbie turned to face Faith, bracing his arm across the seat. A tattoo on his forearm proclaimed him as a #1 Mariners fan. "Where to, lady?" he asked. Faith recited her address, then closed the car door. Almost immediately it was flung open. Hey, I already got a fare. You blind, Mac?" the cabbie yelled. The newcomer held up his Wade County PD badge. Detective Joe Coulson. Coulson addressed the cabbie. "Hey, can you give us a minute?" The cabbie groaned. "Come on, man, I'm trying to make a living here." But he flung up his arms and left the vehicle. Coulson got inside the car and sat beside Faith. He was tall and thick and needed more than the small amount of space that Faith and her briefcase did not occupy. He shifted position. It was not a comfortable fit for him or for Faith either, as his body now brushed hers. He eyed Faith. "I worked in the Fahey homicide." Faith knew that Coulson had been the lead detective. "Well, what do you want?" He puckered his lip as if in contemplation. I wouldn't turn down a boat that I could sail around the world in." He swiped the heel of his hand across the rain trickling down his face. "But for right now, I'd settle for a word with you." Faith sat in silence. Coulson's expression hardened. "You think you're going to get him off? That, with another win in your impressive record, you'll break out of the public defender's office and be a rising star in some cushy private practice? Why you haven't moved on already is what I'm wondering," Coulson sneered. "Maybe you tried and been told you're not as good as you think you are." Coulson had no idea why Faith hadn't moved on, despite offers to do so. "Are you done?" Coulson scoffed. "I'm giving you notice. Gaines is not going to walk. I've made sure that he's wrapped up tight for the jury." Coulson leaned toward her, close enough for Faith to smell his breath, a blend of coffee and chocolate. "I wish you a safe drive home, but I'd be lying," he said. Coulson left the vehicle, slamming the door. The cab driver returned. "Just so you know, I'm expecting a big tip on account of you putting me out like this, lady." Without waiting for a response, he pulled away from the curb and joined the Friday afternoon traffic. A horn honked. The cabbie leaned on his own horn and flipped a trucker the bird. Timothy Fahey's question returned to her. How can you live with yourself? Faith faced the window where the rain ran in rivulets down the glass. And as she had more times than she could count in the last 3 years, wondered the same thing. Chapter 2. Wade County Chief of Police Ryan Crosby pulled into the driveway of the house he'd lived until 1 month earlier. It was a nice place, not large, and simple in design, but to a boy who'd grown up uncertain if his home would remain his home, this house had represented stability. He'd gone all out to make it a home, even putting up a white picket fence. Looking at the fence now, it seemed to mock him. The house itself no longer held any appeal for him. All he cared about was who was inside. His son. If not for the boy, Ryan had no desire to ever set foot in this house again. But for his child, he'd walk into hell, which was very likely where he was going once his soon-to-be ex-wife opened the door.